Okay, hello and welcome everybody back to another episode of the Coinrotator channel. I'm back here with Pxeo, the man himself,
Hello.
and
Good to be here.
yeah, it is. Let's jump right into last week's theme. So last week we talked about the bullish week ahead. So break it down for us.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I just want to slightly append the bullish week and remind everyone that I expected it to be bullish with volatility, which is exactly what we got. So
Hmm.
we actually closed the week higher than we started. Not by much, but we did. And I expected that volatility to look somewhat like the ETF performance chart you see on the screen. And also, interestingly, the fractal of how the BTC ETF performed price wise after its launch is shaping up to be exactly the same for the ETH ETF. There's a lot of reasons why this makes sense and it's not voodoo, primarily because the unlock that happened when the sorry, the BTC ETF launched, uh, there was billions and billions of locked BTC into the Grayscale product, which was like a trust. It wasn't an ETF. And when it converted to ETF, people wanted to get out because the fees are quite high. So Grayscale also has a trust in ETH, which is also converting into an ETF. And so people want to get out and they're wanting it into a cheaper ETF, basically. And this is why you're seeing so much sell pressure. But generally, the flows have been, even with this selling pressure, have been fairly positive. I mean, they're negative, yes, but they're about what we expected. So it's not so bad. But
About
just want to mention that the week did play out as expected, but of course, uh, it's not pleasant when
yeah, little
prices sell.
bumps and
Yeah,
scuffles over there. And not gonna lie,
yeah,
my portfolio did tank a little bit, but
yeah.
it's not. It's mostly the same.
All right. Well, stay tuned.
Okay, yeah. Let's connect back to the Politify. Tell us what's new.
Yeah, man, it's continuing to be very interesting and really good trading opportunities. So, I think when we started 2 weeks ago, we were talking about how there would probably be some mean reversion,
Mm-hmm.
and it's continuing. So even though Trump is still a favorite, the polls are narrowing, and this is not necessarily something which predicts the president. I mean, all things considered, Trump is still a clear leader, even though statistically he's less of the leader. But you can see this happening in the meme coins for Politify as well. So maybe you can show that.
Here's Kamala.
So Kamala is now in an uptrend. Yeah, Kamala is now in an uptrend, even though she's not the favorite, but she's narrowing the gap. The news coming out on Kamala is that she's making more of an effort to appeal to the crypto constituency, and Trump is kind of hitting on the highs. And when you're on the highs, you can't continue to go up forever. So a bit of mean reversion is at play, which is kind of interesting. And there's also some new DeFi primitive coming out on chain on Solana uh, that enables you to short popular meme coins before they have futures contracts.
Mm.
This is pretty interesting to see because there's only been very few ways to short these crazy high flyers, and now we have a pretty popular trusted protocol coming out on margin fi. So I think they're calling it the arena, and there's some codes that you'll be able to sign up with. I'm not sure if I have one to share yet, but if I can find it after the podcast, I will definitely share it. But this is kind of interesting. So people are always joking that there's no use case for meme coins. Well, we're looking at maybe the first real use case for meme coins, Politify, and you can basically take bets on the future leaders of the United States.
Yeah, make
So
meme coins
that's kind of
great
cool.
again. No, it's like
Exactly.
definitely like it is actually following the trend. It could be a coincidence, but
Yeah.
the numbers don't lie.
No, they definitely don't lie. So people are starting to take these things more seriously, and I would expect that the trend of volume to only increase. These coins are not to be ignored.
Mm. You mentioned you can. There's a new way to trade meme coins.
Yeah, you can actually short them very soon, even before they're on centralized exchanges. There's a new service on Margin Swap, or Margin Swap. Margin Fi is launching a new service called Margin Swap.
Mm-hmm.
So I imagine that as soon as this launches, there'll be one on every chain. So you'll be able to short popular meme coins
Well,
on
you
every
you
chain,
couldn't you,
even before.
you couldn't short the meme coins before.
Uh, Unless it was on a centralized exchange or it had a futures contract on chain
Oh, I
on
see
something
it.
like
I see it.
Hyperliquid or Aave, you couldn't. No. The only other way to get some sort of short action was to borrow the coin if it was available. But obviously, most meme coins were not borrowable. So
Because
yeah,
they're
this is a pretty big.
because most of them are
I
not
honestly
listed,
think it's
right?
going to cause. I'm sorry. Say again.
Because most of them are not listed on major exchanges, right?
Exactly, exactly. And not only that, I think that this is actually going to be super bullish in the near term and super bearish in the long term. But
Mm.
something happens when there's too many people shorting coins at once. They tend to go higher first. So I think this
Oh,
is
okay.
actually really good for your meme coins.
Oh, that's interesting. I
So
didn't know
let them short all they want.
that. Well, okay. So let's look at something that's more reliable, like our watch
Okay,
lists.
let's do it. Let's do it.
You've been showing me some of your favorite setups.
Yeah, so people often ask, like, what do you do with coins that are in the watch list when they're in daily and 7 day uptrends? Well, one thing you can do is you can watch them on really low time frame charts and wait for them to get quote unquote oversold. As you can see here in the Store J 10-minute chart, using the Coinrotator indicator, when a price reaches the lower bands and then starts bouncing, and you're reminded that it's in a 7 day as well as daily uptrend on Coinrotator, this is a pretty statistically good bet that prices will mean revert at least
Mm.
to the middle band, if not to the top of the range. And I just want to show. I don't have access to point, but if you see the second orange triangle
Yep.
after, or the first orange triangle after prices touch the band, that's where I would consider a viable buy setup.
Mm. And this coin was on last week's watch list, correct?
Correct, correct. You
Oh,
shared this in the private Telegram that all key pass holders have access to.
yeah, with the lower time frames and everything.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, another coin you were showing me was SOL.
Yeah, SOL, Solana, man. What do you mean SOL? Yeah, so similar setup. It didn't work out quite as well, but one strategic approach to prevent yourself from getting stopped out is when a price does mean revert from the bottom of the band to the mid band, you can set a stop loss or take half of your profit. In this case, it was kind of a break even wash trade, but you do have options. You do have ways to prevent losses from coming through
Mm.
with the indicator. So yeah, but generally this is not a great play for super high market cap coins because they don't have enough volatility unless like there's major news and you see that price is pulling back on a higher time frame. I wouldn't use this super low time frame setup for these multi-billion-dollar plays.
Yeah, because they're just
Main
too big.
for the shitcoin,
Yeah,
for
yeah.
the lower market
Mm.
coins. Yeah.
Well, there was also another coin that you failed to kind of mention it to all of us, but you did make quite a nice profit there, which is
Well,
Rave.
I did. To be fair, I did mention when I bought it, but since
Uh-huh.
it's summer, nobody was paying much attention. But I had several components to why I
Yeah,
picked
walk
this
us through
as a buy.
the thought process.
Yeah. So as I said last week, I expected this week to be pretty bullish, and it was, uh, but with a lot of volatility. Now, when you have a lot of volatility but it's bullish, you want to go with coins that sort of match the prevailing narrative, and the prevailing narrative is still Bitcoin is close to all-time highs. So instead of going with the
Mm.
ETH narrative, which still has some, let's say, liquidity issues, we're not quite in its hyper bull mode yet. So I went with what we call BTC betas, and there are a few categories on Coinrotator which you can find coins on, like BTC Layer 2, BTC betas, things like this. And Riff is one such play. The more popular play is called Stacks or STX, but for me, I prefer to trade Riff simply because it's more volatile. So on, I think it was Monday, uh, I noticed that Riff was really, really oversold on the intraday time frame, as you
Mm-hmm.
can see in this chart. But it was already in an uptrend on the daily time frame. So I had my higher time frame confirmation, and the chart just set up. It has these really low spread. That is that the individual high and low of the bars just got smaller and smaller and smaller, and the same effect as when you have like a spring and then you compress the spring and then you let go of the spring. Well, you see what happens in the price. It's
That's
simply
very
physics,
nice.
my friend.
That's what we're
Yeah.
calling it, huh? Yes. Another interesting thing you shared on Discord was MUMU.
Yes, yes, this is a really interesting play that follows the famous quote by Elon. I'm not sure if he penned the quote or if it is actually him, but he's been quoted countless times saying that the most entertaining outcome is the most likely. And in this case, this is by far the most entertaining outcome. So let me give you some background on why this is entertaining. So there was a very large swap directly. So normally when you swap on chain, you swap from one coin to another coin,
Mm.
but normally you go through an intermediary coin, either a stable coin or the base layer coin. So uh, I'm not sure. This is on Solana. So to go from WIF to MUMU, you would buy Solana. But for some reason, a whale who owned, I think, about $3 million of WIF, he decided to go directly into MUMU, and there wasn't enough liquidity in this pool. So obviously, it caused a huge wick to fill all the MUMU he wanted to buy. So he basically paid the all-time high for MUMU prices, and obviously there were no other buyers who wanted to pay that much, so price went right back down. So now we have a scenario of something called fill the wick. So a lot of on-chain shitcoin traders piled into this Mumu trade and said, well, the likelihood of this wick filling is very high. But the crazy thing is that's 700% higher. But lo and behold, 2, 3 days later from when I tweeted this, I think, yeah, 4 days later, it's up more than 200%. So the most entertaining outcome is right now the most likely, my friend. So Mumu has been a very, very profitable trade for people who follow this.
Yeah, so if you don't want to miss out on more things from Pxeo, you can join the Coinrotator Discord. It's available on the website, and so is the Key Pass, which I can't stress enough that you should get. So if you could just walk us through real quick how to get it again.
Yeah, so basically you just need to go to zora.co and
Mm-hmm.
search Coinrotator. We'll include the link in the description, and you need to mint a key pass. In addition to minting that, in the description of the key pass, you need to go to a Medium post, which explains everything that the Key Pass gives you access to, and you need to fill out a form so we know who you are when you mint. This is not an anonymous NFT or what you're used to. This is the opposite. This is literally a key to unlock advanced features for Coinrotator. It's free at this point. You just have to pay a few dollars in ETH in gas, but it'll give you access to the new beta version of Coinrotator, which gives you lower time frame trends. It gives you advanced data points with powerful sorting options for open interest and funding, the ratio between FDV and market cap, as well as other interesting features that you'll want to take a look at. In addition to that, it gives you access to a private Telegram chat where we share, where you share watch lists every day, Martin, which has been really cool for me. I use some of those to make some trades.
Thank you.
Yeah. And in addition to that, we will have some surprising features such as complex alerts. And
can't wait.
With Key Pass, you'll have free access to some of those. So yeah, there's a lot of reasons to mint. It's also very cool looking, as Peja, our designer, was referencing. He's really into the minimalist, less is more type of approach to crypto web design, and I think he did an incredible job with it. So yeah, just kind of cool to have in your wallet, and yeah, it has a lot of utility. So please give it a try. If you don't like us, no big deal, but I'm guessing that you'll find quite a lot of use. And we're different than most of these groups. We're not shilling anything. We're not pumping anything. We're really trying to help you to make better trades. Although we're not really teaching you a system. We're trying to share a different way than you're probably accustomed to, which is we're not really into fast-moving coins. We're more into trend trading, buying coins that take a few days or a few months, even a few years to make you rich. But we want to arrive at the same destination, but we want to get there in a more sensible way. It's kind of the difference with Coinrotator.
Yeah, I couldn't have said it better. That about sums it up.
Yeah, cool.
Okay, thank you so much for breaking out for us.
Thanks, Martin.
I'll see you in the next one very soon.
See you, man. Take care.